All right, welcome back to the Pizza Podcast with Christian and Johnny. Today we have an awesome pizza. I'm excited about this one. We're going to be talking about Esther. I don't know how that ties in at all.
Because we did Ruth, and most of our listeners are females.
I'm talking about how the pizza ties in.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I understand how Esther ties in.
Yeah. We're talking about Ruth.
But there's a lot of feasting going on in the book of Esther, so
Which went pork.
I figured why not have a pizza that would be kind of unique. So this is a Jack Daniel's barbecued pulled pork with French fried onions and chilled black plum with a barbecue sauce drizzle. You can't really go wrong with it at all. You start with the little guy?
I'm excited. Yeah. Going small.
All right. Well,
No, do what you do.
No, it's we got to be in the same. We got to be in sync. So
I don't know if you've thought about it.
Probably.
Our audience, I feel like it's mainly female. Like out of the 3, 1 or 2 are female. Was it you, your wife, my wife?
Pretty good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's hard to describe the taste. It's sweet, but then you get the crunch and the onion, the softness of the pulled pork. So it's got like the texture and flavor contrasts that are really firing on all cylinders. I like it. Mm-hmm. As we get into this pizza, we're going to get into Esther. And I got to tell you, I was actually surprised at how much I enjoyed the book of Esther.
I liked it.
I was like, yeah, okay, I knew Esther, blah, blah, blah. You kind of know the story generically, but then...
You just like it because God's not in it?
Because God's not in it? What? What is that?
It's just a funny little side note that it doesn't mention God at all. Like every other story, it mentions God or the Lord. This one does not at all.
I'm trying to think.
It mentions that there's Jewish people. That's it. It mentions fasting. But it doesn't specifically mention
You know what's crazy?
God or the Lord or anything.
The fact that you say that, this is one of the most heavily God-influenced books that I've read. And the fact that they don't mention God is very like mind-boggling to me.
It's pretty cool.
Because this whole book is like a master's level game of chess. There are so many different things that had to happen exactly as they happened in order to have the outcome that it did. So it was an enjoyable book. I actually read it like 3 times through.
Dang.
In different translations. And I gotta tell you, I like the ESV better than NIV.
It's superior. Unless you like the NIV, then the NIV is great.
The NIV hits good on some verses, right? But in other ones, I'm like, I like the way the ESV said it better. So I mean, that's why it's good to be able to read it in different translations.
Yeah.
And this is probably going to be at least a 2-part series because there's a lot to cover. Each chapter has its own really cool story and then a lot to talk about. So getting into Esther, chapter 1, it starts off talking about King Xerxes. In the 3rd year of his rule,
I'm glad you say Xerxes because ESV doesn't say Xerxes, but every time I read whatever the name is, I would just say Xerxes.
What does it say?
Maybe not ESV. Holman Christian Standard. It does not. Oh yeah, so ESV. Ahasuerus.
What?
You said you read the ESV, right? King Ahasuerus.
Ahasuerus?
Something like that.
Sounds like he's laughing.
Serious?
Serious?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Ahasuerus.
Serious?
Kinda, yeah.
It's like King No Cap. What a weird name.
It was weird. But
Was that Xerxes' name?
I think it was like the Persian name, Hebrew name differences. Like Esther has a different name.
I like Esther's other name.
Like, was it Hadassah?
Hadassah.
Yeah.
That's a dope name. So anyway, yes, King Xerxes, or Xerxes.
And it's just weird they have different names. Because to us, names are names. To them, they have some other meaning. Because I'm like, dude, if I'm going foreign place, my name is the same name. I'm not changing my name.
How do you know?
Because it's my name.
Yeah, but
What's your name?
it's different people, though. If your name would be offensive.
Oh, Jonathan? I'm going to make it Esther and Hadassah, or whatever you said. Not similar at all.
But if your name was after, like, if you were named after, like, one of your gods, like most people were, and you went to a different nation, and your name was like a god that they don't believe in, they would take offense, you might change your name.
Maybe.
Or get killed.
Yeah, maybe.
Or thrown into a fiery furnace, or a lion's den, or impaled on a pole. Who knows? That's got to be terrible.
Any of those?
And, well, yeah, any of those. But being impaled on a pole.
Alive?
Do you think they do it alive? Or do you think they kill him first and then just put him up there?
I think they kill him first, but
I would hope so.
that would suck.
For humanity's sake. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, in the 3rd year of Xerxes' rule, he decided to have a banquet for all of the nobles and officials. And get this, for 180 days, it says he displayed his vast wealth. It's like 180. How would you? I just picture like an episode of Cribs, but it takes 180 days to get through.
Like parades.
Like, oh yeah, this is the spa. This is whatever.
Yeah.
Parades. Maybe they had like games, like chariot races.
Maybe, yeah.
What else are you gonna do? 180 days.
You have a little festival. You have feasts. You have
Dude,
parades.
they had a lot.
Yeah.
They had a lot of feasts. So, dang it, I can't even eat this because I got to talk. It's torture. This is torture. I really want to get in on this pizza. But anyway. So for 180 days, it says he displayed the vast wealth of his kingdom and the splendor and glory of his majesty. Like, those are big words. Like, people talk about Jesus like that. So that's pretty wild. 180 days, though. 6 months?
Like half a year, yeah.
6 months. That's wild. So anyway. Oh, and it says wine was served in goblets of gold, and the king instructed the wine stewards that each man can drink as much as he wants. So it was open bar.
It's wealthy, yeah.
Apparently kings didn't usually do that, so that's why they made a note to say, like, they didn't even cut people off. Like, it was drink as much as you want, have fun, there's no limit.
Yeah.
I bet a lot of dumb stuff happened after that. It'd be cool to see that documented. But, I mean, just imagine, like, all of his land. He had 127 provinces, which is a lot. I don't even know how big a province is, but even if it was, like even if it was a block.
Yeah.
If a province was a block long, 127 is pretty big. That's a big block party. For open bar, for 180 days.
That'd be pretty fun.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
I wonder what music they had. Because you got to have music at a party.
Yeah.
Did they have drummers back then? Like, do you think they
I'm
had
sure
like
they had
rock
drum.
music, or was it all just kind of like the lyre and the harp and just kind of like
No, they had drums.
dream music?
I think they had drums.
You think they broke out the trumpets, just went nuts, like
Yeah.
full
All of that, yeah.
full jazz band?
Yeah. Not quite as good as what I would think we have now, but I think it'd still be fun because of the drums. If they didn't have drums, that would.
But did they have like legit drums, like a drum set with cymbals and all that?
No, probably not.
So what was it?
Just a big drum. Maybe a couple different drums. It had some kind of set, sure. I don't know.
I wonder when the first drum set was made.
We could look it up.
I'm curious.
But
Because like imagine somebody in the king's palace had actually set up like a drum set. And it was just jamming. I don't think it was during biblical times. I think the drum sets came around a little later. To have a party that big and that long, you got to have music. And I would really hope that the music was awesome. Here's another fun fact. I don't know if you picked up on this. But Queen Vashti, it says Queen Vashti also gave a banquet for the women in the royal palace. So the women had to party separate from the men.
Yeah.
So Xerxes, this huge party,
Just a bunch of dudes.
was a sausage fest the whole way.
Yeah. Yeah.
The party does not seem as fun anymore.
I don't know. Boys rule, girls rule. I'm a fan sometimes. Sometimes.
No, it's not nearly as fun when it's just... Because, I mean, it's not like...
it is, though.
Yeah, if it's like your bachelor party and it's like your closest friends and you're all dudes, yeah, you can hang. But if you have a block party, like let's say you open up your house and have a neighborhood party, men only... It's painful just...
That's why you could drink as much as you want. No one wanted to drink that much.
It's painful just to say that.
Yeah.
Like, so... I think the party could have been better if he just kind of combined everybody in the kingdom. But then again, open bar, men and women partying.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of laws would have been broken.
Trouble.
Yeah. So I get it. I don't know. I probably wouldn't have stayed long. I probably would have just gone in there, ate some food, and dipped out. But anyway, on the 7th day, when King Xerxes was in high spirits from wine, he instructed his 7 eunuchs to go get Queen Vashti. And this is what it says in mine. It says, "Bring before him Queen Vashti wearing her royal crown in order to display her beauty to the royals and nobles, for she was lovely to look at." But then she refused to come. So the king became furious and burned with anger. One, why do you think Queen Vashti refused to go?
It's a good question. I don't know. There was a little note I read saying there's certain texts, or a certain text, and I didn't write this down, I should have, that said they believe it was that he wanted her to come wearing only her crown.
That was my next question.
So she might not want to be paraded quite like that. But maybe she doesn't want to be paraded at all. Anyways, I don't know.
But she's the queen. She should be used to being paraded in front of people, right?
Maybe. Or she's just having a good time with the girls. They're painting each other's nails. They're having a good old time.
That's possible.
Wow.
You can't refuse a request of a king.
Well, she did.
Everybody knows that, though.
Yeah.
But normally when you do...
It's usually not the best thing.
Normally when you do, you typically put to death. I don't know. Like, what did she think was going to happen?
She probably thought she was going to be in trouble.
That's it? You think she would have just gone to the principal's office?
No, but she probably knew there was consequences. But
Yeah,
she's just
which would normally be death.
But she just didn't want to.
Maybe... Well, if that was the case and the king was trying to just have her wear only her crown and just degrade her and treat her like that, then I don't blame her one bit.
Yeah.
Xerxes, I mean, it doesn't say in here, but Xerxes was a pretty nasty king. Like, he did a lot of wicked stuff. I think Tim knows like a whole bunch of stuff about him that would just like churn your stomach, I think.
Was he in the Sparta movie?
Yeah.
Was that the guy?
Yeah, the guy with all the rings.
He's like sitting there.
He caught the spear through like the...
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you don't remember that? He cut the spear through one of his rings. I don't know if it was his nose.
Dude, I was so young watching that movie. I had to like sneak that movie in to try and watch it. I don't remember it.
It's a good movie. The king was furious, burned with rage. He spoke to his wise men, trying to figure out what to do with her since she broke the law. And they decided that Queen Vashti was no longer allowed in the king's presence, and her royal position was to be given to someone better. So they de-queened her. Dethroned?
Crowned. Yeah. I don't know.
Fired?
Because they even like refer to her as only Vashti after this too.
Oh, they do? I didn't catch that.
Because she's not queen anymore. She's just Vashti.
Well, I know she's not queen anymore, but basically, the king put a restraining order against her because she couldn't come into his sight anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Then it says that the king, he sent a decree to every province because.
Do you think now she ultimately got what she wanted? It's like, good. I didn't want you to look at me anyways.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I mean, as long as she didn't die, right? I mean, if he was going to kill her, then she would have lost that battle. But because of her defiance against the king, all of the other men and the leaders of the provinces were worried that their wives were going to start gaining momentum and pushing back on what they said. So the king had to issue a decree, which is just wild,
Yeah.
to all the provinces and all the tongues and all the languages and everything else. The man should be ruler over his own household. So he had to issue a decree. So
It's a godly
women,
decree, right?
in a way.
So Xerxes, you're just doing nothing wrong here, right?
You're just doing the Lord's work.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, biblically, the man is the ruler of the household, but not
Yeah.
in the way that I think Xerxes was trying to. What? What do you got? You got something? You think differently?
No. Not necessarily, no.
He put a restraining order against her and decided to take away her queenhood.
To any young listeners that don't know what a restraining order is, it's just like when you block someone on Facebook. He just blocked her in real life.
He unfriended her.
Block. Because if you're not friends, you can still like see each other's profiles and see their posts. So. He said,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Unless you're on like private.
Do you have to unfriend first and then block?
Mm-hmm.
If you block, does it automatically unfriend?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do you know?
Don't it? Yeah.
Who did you unfriend? Never mind. I don't want to get in trouble. You know who you are.
Oh god. Oh gosh.
They know. Wait, do people get a notice when you unfriend them?
Mm-mm.
No? Oh man, I wish they did. That would be.
No.
That's like in your face. Like,
But
oh, this person just unfriended you.
Yeah. No, I don't think I have anyone blocked on Facebook anymore.
It's a good analogy to make sure everyone understands what a restraining order is. But basically, Vashti couldn't come into the king's sight ever again. This pizza's really good. I'm a huge fan. It says, after the king's anger subsided, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what he had decreed about her. How long was the king angry if he had to remember what Vashti did and what he decreed, like, once his anger settled? Or do you, like, is it just the way it's worded? Because it makes it sound like this was like years go by.
What was the exact wording again?
I'll just read it.
Was it like when God remembered Noah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. So yeah, it says, later when the anger of King Xerxes had subsided, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what he had decreed about her.
Or he's been just partying and drinking, and it finally settled. Yeah, I think it's similar to like how God remembered Noah. It's not like he forgot.
I don't like when I have to say like when they remembered, because then for me my memory is so short, so I always think it's like a long time. I always think like normal people have a longer memory. It's like, oh, you remembered. It must have been years.
Maybe like 170 days. Like 10 days in, he's like, all right, Vashti, come in. So then it's like the rest of it, he's like, still no girls, but I'm going to keep partying. So after the party's over, then he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Queen who?
Yeah.
Then it says, then the king's personal attendants proposed that he gathers the young virgins from all the provinces and bring them to the harem in Susa, which is where the citadel where the king was, under the charge of the king's eunuch, and then give them beauty treatments, and the one who pleases the king most be made the queen.
Why are they getting beauty treatments if they're supposed to be the most beautiful?
It didn't say anything about most beautiful. It said they're virgin, young virgin.
But isn't he looking for like the most beautiful to replace Vashti?
It doesn't say beautiful.
What does it say?
It says, propose to gather the young virgins from all 127 provinces. Let the king appoint commissioners in every province from his realm to bring all these... Oh, it does say beautiful. Above verse 2, it says, let the king's personal attendants, let a search be made for beautiful...
Like,
it says beautiful there too.
So the
I
part
must
where
have ran
it's-
out of toner in my notes. I don't know.
and then the part where it's like, and then let the king give her royal position to another who is better than she, back in chapter 1.
Yeah.
To me, that was like beauty.
Yeah. So I guess beauty was a factor.
But I'm like, so why do they need makeup? If you're beautiful, you don't freaking need makeup.
You got to be trained. If you're going to be the queen, you have to know how to be the queen.
But why do you need beauty treatments?
But I don't think I think the word treatment is used more like training.
Beauty training?
Yeah, because watch, dude. I have a note on that.
I know there's like perfume and stuff they like soak in or something. I don't know what
Soak?
I don't know what it said. I forgot. But
They're not going to the beach.
who soaks in perfume to go to the beach? What?
Wait, you don't put on perfume to go to the beach? That's wild. You haven't even lived.
Your wife, you let your wife soak in perfume when you go to the beach? Well, I gotta soak a little longer. Can't go yet.
Do you know how much you would smell if you soaked in perfume? Oh my God.
Start soaking on Thursdays if you leave by Saturday morning.
No, in my head I was thinking of like suntan lotion. You know how it has that smell. But I do like the idea of soaking in perfume before going to the beach. Oh, that's dumb. So they go out to the provinces and they find beautiful young virgins to bring to the king, and then they have to undergo beauty treatments. But it says there was a Jew in the citadel of Susa named Mordecai, whose great grandfather Kish. It goes through like the heritage, but I just kind of shortened it. His great-grandfather, Kish, was carried into exile from Jerusalem by King Nebuchadnezzar, among those taken captive with Jehoiakim, the king of Judah. So when Nebuchadnezzar,
Old Nebi's back.
Yeah, when Nebi took the king of Judah, Jehoiakim, captive, he also took Kish, who was Mordecai's great-grandfather. So Mordecai had a cousin named Hadassah, a.k.a. Esther, who was lovely in form and features, that he brought up as a daughter.
This is according to Mordecai?
I don't know who it's according to. Who wrote the book of Esther?
I don't know.
I can never remember who wrote I always think it should be the person, like, I would always want to, like, Esther wrote this book because it's her.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case.
No. I don't think either.
So anyway, yeah. Esther's parents had died, so Mordecai basically adopted and raised her as his own daughter. Esther was taken to the king's palace among all the other young virgins in the provinces, put under the care of the king's eunuch, Haggai. Hegai. Hegai. Haggai?
Hey, I think it's what I was saying.
But it says, who she pleased and won favor with, so much so that he immediately provided her with beauty treatments and special food. So he immediately did it. I guess maybe you did to earn it. I don't know, but he did it right away. Beauty treatments and special food. I wonder what the special food was. And he assigned her 7 maids selected from the king's palace, and then moved her and her maids into the best place in the harem. I had a couple of questions about this section here. So when the king sent people out to go get these beautiful young virgins, do you think it was like a scary thing where everyone was like screaming and running and they're like going in with horses and grabbing the girls by the hair and
probably both.
Throwing them in cages? Or do you think it was just like a casual, like, oh, the king's here, wonder if they'll take us? Or was it more like people begging, take me, take me?
Yeah, probably a mixture, I think. Makes sense to me. Some people would want to, some people would be like, no, I don't want to leave my family. I don't know.
I was trying to picture, because, I mean, in my head, I picture like a Conan the Barbarian scene where they just ride their horses into town, everyone's screaming, they're throwing fire on everything, they grab the girls and they're out. But It'd be nicer if they were just a little more gentle, like, hey,
Hey,
you're very beautiful.
Hey,
The
beautiful.
king would like, the king would like your presence in the harem.
they're going out. Are they going out, or are they like sitting on a corner, like catcalling? Like,
They're going door to door. They're busting the doors. I wonder if people like
busting the doors.
I wonder if people hid their daughters. I would have.
I think a mixture.
Yeah.
Some are like, oh, like this is a good opportunity for the family, and others are like, no,
It's a good career app.
yeah, not worth it.
Going to be one of the king's playthings.
Yeah,
That's not cool.
no. I think that's how things were though. At some point,
Yeah. It says she pleased Haggai and won favor with him. How do you think she pleased him? He was a eunuch, so I mean, it kind of takes sex off the table, right?
kind of,
I would think.
kind of, probably. There's some. Probably took it off the table.
So how do you?
How do you please him?
Was she just
For
like
favor?
just had that personality that was just likable? Is that what they mean?
I thought she was just that beautiful. It's like, oh, you're so beautiful. Let me give you beauty treatments.
You're so beautiful. Let me give you beauty treatments.
That's how I'm reading this. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't get the beauty treatment thing. If you're beautiful, you don't need it.
It could have meant her beauty had potential. If you have good features, you can kind of maybe chisel them out a little more.
Maybe.
I mean, a beautiful woman without makeup, and then you bring her into like
Yeah,
the king's palace and doll her up and put on a nice royal robe or whatever. I don't know.
yeah. Get rid of the.
It might make it better. It might make it worse. I don't know.
It's about preference. I don't like makeup.
I'm not a big fan either. Actually, it's a waste of money too.
Yeah.
And it
is.
and it clutters the whole sink, and it clogs the drains.
I don't know about that.
And then you drop it on the floor, and there's eyeshadow in the tiles and the grout, and I gotta scrub it up.
Sorry that happened to you.
I mean, allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a friend. I'm just speaking for people I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a handyman. You get called to.
I get called to these,
These jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just coincidence that I get called to my own house once in a while to clean the drain and the makeup cake and everything else that comes along with it. But at this point in time, like, I had a note here to just consider all of the strategic movements that had to happen to put Esther in that place at that time. Like, it can only be a God thing, because Kish was a Jew, right? He was taken captive from Jerusalem by Nebuchadnezzar. Then 3 generations of men to get to Mordecai, which is like Kish, Shimei, Jair, and then Mordecai. Mordecai's brother had to have a daughter. Then they had to die. Her parents had to die, so Mordecai took her in. Then raised her as his own daughter. And then Mordecai and Esther just happened to be living in that citadel of Susa, where the king was located. And then Xerxes just happened to be throwing a random banquet in the 3rd year of his reign. And then Queen Vashti just happened to refuse his order, which caused him to go out and gather all the young virgins. Like, so many little, like I was saying, it's like chess. Like, so many things had to happen exactly just to even get her there. And then there's like 1,000 other things that had to happen in order to complete the story. But
Yeah.
it also says Esther hadn't revealed her nationality or family background because Mordecai told her not to. And then every day Mordecai walked back and forth near the courtyard of the harem.
The gate or something?
The king's gate, yeah. He spent a lot of time there, like all of his time.
Yeah.
But he'd walk back and forth near the courtyard of the harem to find out how Esther was doing. So it's kind of nice. He's checking up on her. So it says, before a girl's turn came to go into King Xerxes, she had to complete 12 months of beauty treatments prescribed for the women. 6 months with oil and myrrh, and 6 with perfumes and cosmetics. So that's why I think it sounds more like training than of treatments.
Like a cosmetology school.
Yeah, because how are you gonna do perfumes and cosmetics for 6 months?
I thought they were just sitting in a room getting perfume all the time, so their skin naturally smelled like that. Like it just seeped so much into them, they smelled like that.
You would get so sick of that scent, though.
No, you get used to it. You wouldn't even notice it.
I'm talking about the king. King's like, go take a shower. I can't stand that perfume anymore. And they're like, I can't. It's in my skin.
Not if it's his favorite. How many dude parties is he throwing? How many little dude weekends? If I was a king, I'd have a lot of dude weekends.
You would?
Yeah, man.
Why?
Play video games for 2-3 days straight. Eating pizza. Why wouldn't I? What do you mean?
Are you talking about like a current day king?
Yeah. So
That's how you would spend your day, playing video games? And
yeah,
eating
so
pizza?
then if it was like back then, I'd just be playing football every day. Like, hey guys, come on, let's play some
Football?
Yeah.
Like soccer? Or
No, not football. Football. Yeah.
Not football.
Yeah. No. Soccer. I hate soccer. It's so hard.
You hate it because it's hard?
It's so hard.
It's fun, though.
It's okay to play. It's okay to play, but it's so hard. There's so much running, non-stop.
There's a lot of running.
There's no timeouts unless someone brushes up against someone and the other person falls and
There's like mini timeouts.
yeah.
Like the line kicks or
So for the
throw-ins
most
or whatever.
yeah, for the most part, it's just. I mean, they're not like full on sprinting all the time because they're like zones. But like when I would play like backyard sports, playing soccer, it's nonstop. Because
Not if you're the
we don't
goalie.
play.
Or even defense.
That's
If you're a
boring,
lazy
though.
defender, then you can just stay in your spot.
Yeah, that's boring.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I played American football all the time. That'd be so fun. Or like ultimate frisbee.
Yeah, but if you were the king, they'd let you win, so you'd never really know if you were skilled.
Did we play ultimate frisbee? Was that us? With Josh?
I've played. I don't remember if you were there. I don't think.
With Josh?
No.
Huh.
No.
Who even played with me? It was so fun. Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow. I swear it was you. Had to have been.
Maybe it was. I
It
told
was
you my memory's
with
bad.
his church, Faith Renewed Church.
Yes.
Yeah. That was so fun.
At the
Whatever park that was.
near the
Southside?
near the water park.
Yeah, Southside Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was you?
Yeah. There was one time I got a cramp too. And I was like, I'm gonna play again. I started running and cramped up again.
Yeah.
So I'm like hobbling, but I'm like, I just want to play.
That was a ton of fun.
Yes.
We got to do that again.
I would love to, but
Where'd
people,
they go?
people grow up and don't want to do stuff anymore.
I completely forgot about all of it.
It was so fun.
And now that you bring it back, I'm kind of excited.
I would love to. I'm like, so I just cleaned out my trunk for this freaking baby stroller. So there's all these toys I have to take out, like a scooter, rollerblades,
Oh, don't take out the rollerblades, man.
ripstick. I had 2 footballs, now I only have 1. So I put the football back in, I put the skateboard back in, whatever I could fit. It's so sad taking everything out of there. But yeah, I got a football because I'm like, yeah, what if guys just want to throw some football? She's like, when's the last time you do that? I was like, shut up. I still dream of it every day. I can have hope. I still got my ultimate frisbee disc though. I should have kept ultimate disc in there.
There's always room for that. But we got to do that again.
The stroller's big. Oh, dude, I would love to. It's just so hard with adults.
You think Xerxes would have enjoyed Ultimate?
Yeah. How could you not?
But again, they have to let the king win. I would order them not to let me win. That way you'd really be able to.
You gotta
tell.
play. Yeah, you gotta have fun.
I know, but then if I lost, they'd be killed anyway.
Because even when I'm losing, I have so much fun. And I'm still trash talking. I don't care. I'm down 50 points. I'm gonna trash talk because it's fun. It's part of the sport.
It is fun.
Yeah. You gotta get Josh back on it.
Let's do it. I'll send him a text later.
Right now.
I can't. My phone's in use. You text him.
I probably could, actually. What time is it? I'll do it just for fun. Should I?
Yeah, do it. Text him. Let's talk about the beauty treatments. So you have 6 months of oil and myrrh and 6 months of perfumes and cosmetics. I think it's like a training of how to use it. And,
That makes
and maybe
sense.
we're going to teach you what kind of makeup the king likes and doesn't like. Like, he doesn't like, I don't know, purple eyeshadow. So don't ever do it. So who knows? I mean,
Makes sense.
there's a lot of training though, a full year before you can even go and see him.
Yeah.
This is how she would go into the king. Anything anything she wanted was given to her to take with her from the harem to the king's palace. So she could take anything she wanted with her. In the evening, she would go there, and in the morning, she'd return to another part of the harem to the care of Shashgaz, the king's eunuch who was in charge of the concubines. She would not return to the king unless he was pleased with her and summoned her by name. What kind of things do you think a girl would take into the king from the harem? Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do they knit him a sweater? I'm trying to think of, like, if I was the king and a girl I've never seen is coming to visit, food? Maybe she made him a pizza?
I don't know.
She went in the evening and returned in the morning, so the king slept with her. And then in the morning, she doesn't even go back to the same part of the harem. She goes to a different part with the concubines. So she basically goes into the pile of used garbage unless the king calls her back by name. Basically, he sleeps with her and then it's just like, all right,
Done.
you're done.
Yeah.
And I'll let you know if you get a call back.
Yeah.
How degrading is that?
It's pretty sad. Yeah.
And how many concubines were there? Like, is this like a whole room? You know, like in movies, like biblical movies, you have like a whole room full of like, I don't know, 75 women. They're just sitting around on
I don't watch biblical movies.
cushions and whatever, just chilling, doing nothing.
I don't watch biblical movies.
Not even biblical movies, but just like movies from back then. I don't know.
Movies from back in the biblical days when they made those movies.
What happened to the girls that were never called back in?
Probably just stayed there. That's their new home, right?
But that's terrible.
Yeah.
You get used one night by the king after a year of treatments, and then you're just done?
Yeah.
Thrown out with the trash? Do you think the concubines had a rivalry? Like, oh, I got called back 3 times. I'll bet they did. I'll bet some of them hated some other ones. Like, oh, she thinks she's so pretty.
Yeah. I could see that. Yeah, a little bit of people like that, a little bit of people the other way, opposite.
I just think I was messed up.
I agree. Because we're good guys.
And what happens, like, what happens if he gets them all pregnant? Nothing?
Yeah, it's nothing. Or he decides if he wants that kid or not.
I don't remember it mentioning anything about Xerxes having kids, but when it came time for Esther to go into the king, it says she asked for nothing other than what Haggai suggested. But it doesn't even tell you what it was.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating.
Make perfumes and the other cosmetic stuff.
But how come he didn't suggest something to the other ones? Because they didn't ask?
Maybe he did suggest. I don't know. Maybe that's part of the treatments, is the suggestions.
But what did she bring? I want to know. Maybe like a gold nose ring? You'd be like, oh, sweet. You can't think of anything? You're supposed to have the creativity and the imagination. I'm trying to figure out what Haggai would have suggested.
I think it's just cosmetics, makeup, perfume.
I don't think Xerxes would have given any care about that. Because all
He
the other
obviously
women
cares
before,
about that.
all the other women before that would have done the same thing. That's so generic.
Yeah.
Based on the way it sounds like there was something specific. Like, oh, this, I don't know, ruby candlestick was his favorite. Like his mom had one when he was a baby. So bring him this and it'll...
He would probably have those.
I don't know, dude. I'm just...
It's cosmetics and perfume.
It's not cosmetics or perfume.
Okay. I think it probably was.
Well, either way, Esther won the favor of everyone who saw her. So she was taken to the king in the royal residence in the 10th month of the 7th year of his reign. So from when he threw the party to now had been 4 years. So was Vashti still queen? She just couldn't see anything? Or did he was queenless?
Queenless.
He just had no queen for 4 years?
Yeah.
4 years?
Well, we don't know when. Yeah, 4 years.
We do know. Because his third year he threw the party. This is 7th year.
Could be 3.5 years.
It's still years.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah.
queenless for 4 years.
Yeah.
And no one cared? Like, the queen must have been, like, pointless then anyway.
Just a face.
I always picture the queen as, like, sitting right next, like, thrones next to each other. The king, like, if the queen says something, the king's like, done.
Do it, yeah.
This is more like, the queen, I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, she's just a face, probably.
You're nothing. I'll let you know when I want you to come parade yourself in front of my buddies.
Yeah. Just a political face.
That's not cool.
I agree.
The king was attracted to Esther more than any of the other women, and she won his favor and approval more than any of the other virgins, so he set a royal crown on her head and made her queen instead of Vashti. Then he had a large banquet called Esther's Banquet for all his nobles and officials again, and then proclaimed a holiday throughout the provinces. And it says he distributed gifts with royal liberality. During that banquet that he threw, like for all his nobles and officials, do you think he displayed Esther like he wanted to display Vashti?
I don't think so.
It says the king was attracted to Esther more than any of the other women. So I mean, he thought she was beautiful. If he wanted to show off Vashti, then why wouldn't he show off Esther? It's a banquet. He's got all his nobles and officials there.
Maybe he didn't want the same thing to happen again. Like, maybe I should.
You think he had a little bit more respect for? Oh, that would suck really bad if he tried the same thing with Esther and Esther's like, nope.
Yeah. No.
And then it's happened twice.
Yeah. So maybe that's why. Or the
Fear
other
of rejection.
Yeah. Or the other one, he's just drinking more, so he made that decision from all the drinking.
I think he was under the influence.
Something like that. One of those. One or both of those.
So what happened to Queen Vashti after this? Because it doesn't even really mention her. Did she just go back
Probably
to
was a concubine.
Did she go back to the street? Did she stay in the palace?
I don't know.
Because she couldn't be in the sight of the king, so I don't think she was wandering around the palace.
No, probably with the concubines. Because they're not going to be in his sight either unless
they call him, yeah. That's got to be weird. Imagine, like, the former queen in the room with all the rejected concubines.
So then she either, like, kind of...
She was like the little mini ruler, the unofficial ruler of the concubines.
Like the mother of the concubines. Or the mother of the concubines there treats her bad.
I'll bet the concubines were talking trash about her. Like, oh, you thought you were so good. Look at you now.
I don't know. I want to have more hope. I like to think they come together. The concubines.
Do you think Vashti was like a good lady or just a crazy person?
Why is that my only two options?
What else could she be?
Just a crazy person.
Women are either good or crazy, Johnny. That's it. Those are the two options.
I think she's probably maybe not bad, but if she was queen, maybe influenced a little bad.
There's one more thing though towards the end of chapter 2. So it says when the virgins were assembled a second time. When the virgins were assembled a second time, Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate, which apparently he lived there, because every other verse is Mordecai was at the king's gate. Mordecai was at the king's gate.
He probably had a job, or he had something to do with the.
Maybe he was responsible for cleaning the gate. He was just there
No, he's
he's always sitting, so no. I don't know. But whatever. He was at the king's gate. It says, during that time, Bigthana and Teresh, two of the king's officers who guarded the doorway, became angry and conspired to assassinate King Xerxes. But Mordecai found out about the plot and told Queen Esther, who in turn told King Xerxes, giving credit to Mordecai. And when the report was investigated and found to be true, the two officials were hanged on a gallows, which in the subtext, or in ESV, it says they were impaled on a pole.
This is gallows.
Yeah, which...
you're saying the
yeah.
Yeah.
So they were actually impaled on a pole. They weren't... when they say hanged, they don't mean like with a rope around the neck.
Well, it says either or. Like they don't... The footnote doesn't mean that's what happened.
one of the translations that I read straight up said impaled on a pole, which is crazy.
So it's one of those, but we don't know. They don't know.
I would think it'd be impaled on a pole. I'm just wondering if they killed him first. But here's my question.
Why do you think it was on a pole?
Because Xerxes was insane, and there's no way.
Gallows isn't.
Hanging is way too gentle for Xerxes. Xerxes was like sick in the head. I would not be surprised if Xerxes had them like impaled live, like live shish kebabs, up the rectum and out the mouth on a pole. Like, Xerxes was insane. A couple of questions here. It says when the virgins were assembled a second time. So do you think Xerxes had more virgins rounded up, or was he just like the second round of the ones he already rounded up?
Yeah, same ones, I think.
I like the name Bigthana, Bigthana, because it kind of like reminds me of like a big Thanos, Bigthana, Bigthana. It says 2 of the king's officers who guarded the doorway became angry and conspired to assassinate King Xerxes. What do you think would have caused them to get so angry and then plan to assassinate King Xerxes?
People always wanted to assassinate kings.
These are the guys that guarded. These were his officers.
Yeah. Yeah, kings suck.
That's it? That's your best guess?
I can't guess off if there's nothing for me to guess off of.
Yes, you can. Because look, what would cause 2 of the king's guards to all of a sudden become so angry they plot to assassinate him?
I'm interested because you're saying Big Thana, and then there's other translations that just say Big Than.
Big Than?
Like the Big Than. Like the A is extra on some and A isn't there on some others.
Oh.
So that's weird to me. Like if it's a name, it's a name. Like how is there an extra letter or not? Anyways.
But what would cause them to be so angry? Their job is to protect the king and to guard.
I don't know what to tell you. There's people that have the littlest reasons and they still want to do it, and they have bigger reasons and still want to do it.
You know what my thought is?
They're related to Vashti?
No.
Oh.
I think because it specifies when the virgins were assembled a second time, I think the king rounded up their daughters. And that's when they saw their daughters being brought in, and that's probably when they were like, oh no, this king's getting killed. Because that would do it for me. It's complete speculation, but it's definitely plausible.
Sure.
Because it specifies when the virgins were assembled a second time, Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate. During that time, Bigthana and Teresh, 2 of the king's officers who guarded the doorway, became angry and conspired to assassinate the king. So, I mean, the virgins are being brought in. The 2 guards that guard the doorway all of a sudden got angry enough to want to kill the king. I'm thinking they saw their daughters in the lineup. And...
Sure.
Anyway. God, you're making it tough tonight. Mordecai told Esther. Esther told the king on behalf of Mordecai. And they were impaled on poles. Whatever.
Where am I going to go?
Whatever. Johnny wants to be PG. He can say they're hanging on a
No, I'm saying we don't know. If it's
I know they're impaled on poles. Xerxes impaled
don't
everybody.
know.
Look up the history book. Xerxes impaled everybody on poles.
Okay.
He didn't hang people. That was way too clean for Xerxes.
Later on, when it mentions gallows, is also the poles?
Yes,
Oh.
actually. How do you
75-foot poles?
Yeah, dude. Super big.
I mean, it's still big for a gallows, but...
Yeah, I know.
A freaking pole.
It's a long...
The pole it just doesn't work. I mean, I guess it could. If
does.
they're way up top, they're 70 feet in the air.
That's pretty tall.
Yeah.
How do you think Mordecai found out about their plot? You think he just overheard them? You think he had an inside guy?
He overheard, yeah. I think he overheard him because he's in the same area.
It says, after these events, King Xerxes honored a guy named Haman, gave him a seat of honor higher than all the other nobles. All of the royal officials at the king's gate knelt down, paid honor to him as per the king's command. So the king commanded everybody to kneel down and pay him honor. But Mordecai would not kneel.
So is that saying Mordecai is part of the officials or servants or whatever? So that's why he's there often?
Mordecai was just there because he kept checking up on Esther, and then he apparently liked being at the gate.
So, I don't know how your mind works sometimes.
What?
Like previously you put the virgin gathering, you connected them to these guards. But then here...
It says Mordecai was sitting at the king's gate.
And it's saying that all the servants were at the gate, bowed down, paid homage. The king had commanded, made this command or whatever, but Mordecai did not. Sounds like he's a part of those people, yeah? That's probably why he's there a lot.
No, the king's command goes for everybody, not just his officials or leaders. If the officials or leaders are commanded to bow to this guy, then all of the other people in the city are too. It's just kind of like the hierarchy.
Okay.
Mordecai wasn't part of anything. He was a Jew. He wasn't even...
Doesn't mean anything. Esther's a Jew.
They didn't know Esther was a Jew. They know Mordecai's a Jew.
Daniel was a Jew. His buddies were a Jew.
Different times. Different kings. Mordecai wasn't... He was not on the payroll.
Like, if you just read verse 1 through 3.
I just did. After these events, King Xerxes honored Haman and gave him a seat of honor higher than all the other nobles. All of the royal officials at the king's gate knelt down and paid honor to him as per the king's command, but Mordecai would not kneel down or pay him honor.
So he's the only one that's not one of the servants?
He's the only one that wouldn't kneel down. Day after day, the officials spoke to him, but he continued to refuse. So they told Haman about it to see if his behavior would be tolerated because Mordecai told them he was a Jew. He wouldn't do it. He was Jewish.
Yeah.
So it says day after day, they kept telling him, like, hey, you need to bow down. You need to bow down. And he's like, nope.
Yeah.
So then they went and told Haman to see if he's going to be like, hey, you going to tolerate this? This guy's saying he's Jewish, so his customs don't apply here. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Haman had a choice to either let it go or go full on, like, full-fledged hatred. And he didn't let it go. And such was the beginning of his demise, pretty much. But it says Haman was enraged, but instead of just killing Mordecai, he wanted to destroy all of the Jews throughout the kingdom of Xerxes.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't just want to kill Mordecai. I want to just destroy all of these Jews. Because if this isn't part of their culture and these rules don't apply to them, then let's just get rid of them all. So in the 12th year of King Xerxes, 5 years after Esther was made queen, in the first month, I always just say January, even though it's probably a different calendar.
It's not, yeah.
It's just easier for me to conceive when it's...
It was like, I did know it. It was like March.
March? Okay.
Which I think our calendar is jacked up anyways. We should start with spring. And then winter should be at the end.
I mean, it doesn't really matter, right?
No, but it just makes sense. Like springtime, new beginnings. But then it's like, no, when is the coldest, we're going to start a new year. And then we'll have another new beginning.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're starting new in the middle of the cold.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I joke a lot about like New Year's resolutions. I'm like, yeah, I'll start in the spring. Like, I don't care right now. I'm just trying to survive.
It says they cast the P-U-R, which is like lots. They cast lots. In the presence of Haman to select a day and a month. And then the lot fell on the 12th month. So in my brain, they, rolled the dice in January, and then that came up that they're going to try and destroy all the Jews in December. Man. So they got a full year
basically
to prep for that.
It makes you wonder, like, you can just leave, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually right here in my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Haman went to King Xerxes and told him that there's a certain people scattered among the provinces of his kingdom whose customs are different, who do not obey the king's laws.
This is going to get interesting, because now we know Esther is a Jew, but no one knows.
No one knows. Secret.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting how that'll play out.
So Haman requested permission to destroy them all, and then offered to pay the king 10,000 talents of silver to help cover the costs of the soldiers to carry it out. Yeah. That's a lot of 10,000 of anything.
Dude, poor Jews.
The Jews have really
so bad.
Throughout entire history, everyone has just been trying to bring them down. But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah, it's true, but it's still
they can't.
It's so sad.
It is, but no one can succeed. It's God's people, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not playing around.
Yeah.
It is crazy, though.
Yeah.
I know, I'm reading this, I'm like, dang, again?
It's so bad.
It's madness. So anyway, so King Xerxes agrees to Haman's request, but tells him to keep his money. Whatever. Then on the 13th day of the first month, the royal secretaries were summoned. They wrote out a script of each province, and the language of all the peoples across the land, and signed it with the signet ring of the king. This is what the Bible says. Destroy, kill, and annihilate all the Jews, young and old, women and children, on a single day, the 13th day of the 12th month. So I say like December 13th. And to plunder their goods. So the messages were sent out, and the king and Haman sat down to drink, but the citadel of Susa was bewildered. First of all, why would they have to specify destroy, kill, and annihilate when any one of those would pretty much cover
They
it?
get the job done, yeah. That's how,
Like,
extreme.
why call out all three?
This is how extreme it is.
Destroy, kill, and annihilate. It's crazy to me that they wouldn't just say kill, or annihilate, or destroy. Why all three? I guess they liked synonyms back then, or maybe depending on the language that people used.
I think it just displays the severity of it, and the emotions behind it. Like, this guy's just
There's a lot of hate behind this.
yeah.
Just because the guy wouldn't bow down to him, so it's prideful hate too. It's not even like righteous anger. How terrifying must this like decree have been to the Jews once they saw this like get disseminated?
Yeah, it sucked.
Because like this is basically like giving notice of a purge night, right? December 13th in one night. All the Jews are getting destroyed, killed, and annihilated.
Yeah, but purge isn't necessarily everyone's getting murdered. It's like a lot of people are going to get murdered, but it's like it's not a set like you are going to get murdered. Like this one is.
This one's like you're dead.
Yeah.
And then, like to your point, why wouldn't the Jews just read this and go, "We're moving.
Yeah, we got to go.
We have a full year to get out of the province."
And there's got to be some that left. Had to.
Well, if they were smart, they all would have left. Based on reading this, if somebody said my entire people was just going to, on December 13th this year,
Yeah.
all the white people are getting murdered.
Yeah. Yeah.
If in this territory,
Oh.
I'd be like, we're not going to be in this territory.
Yeah.
By the time that day comes around, we're out.
Yeah.
I get it. Okay, fine. We offend you somehow. See ya.
Or maybe you have a year to plead your case. I don't know.
There's no pleading the case. The king signed this decree with his signet ring. It can't be revoked. It's done.
Yeah.
When Mordecai heard about the decree, he tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and went out into the city weeping bitterly. How do you think he felt knowing that this was his fault?
It's not his fault.
It was 100% his fault.
It's 100% Haman's fault. Haman and the king's fault. He's got zero fault.
His actions resulted...
Nope. Haman's actions resulted. He has zero fault.
I don't think so. I think
Zero.
none of this would have happened if he just gave the guy some respect.
No. None of this would have happened if Haman wasn't so prideful.
I wouldn't say all of the fault was on Mordecai.
All
but
of the fault is on Haman
No, dude.
and Xerxes.
Mordecai inadvertently stirred the pot.
No.
I don't think he knew what was going to happen though. So
He probably not. But when Haman decided to make this happen, he knew it was going to happen.
but it doesn't
Haman
say that the king decreed that everyone worship the guy.
Just
So
bow
there's
down.
really no reason why Mordecai couldn't have just shown the guy respect.
You-
Even if he was a tool bag.
Would you have bowed down?
If it was an order by the king and you're just showing respect for a guy's position,
You'd bow down?
I would salute Biden. If he was the commander in chief and I was in the... It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It's showing respect.
Okay, well, if Biden made a decree to bow down, would you bow down? As he passes by?
Bow down and salute are basically the same thing.
So it should be a simple yes or no. if Biden said, you got to bow down when I'm walking by, you're going to bow down.
If I was in the military and he was my commander in chief, yeah, I would follow an order.
You'd bow down?
I wouldn't worship him, but I would
No,
show
but you-
I would show respect for the position he's in. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Whether I agreed with him or not.
Okay. that is
That's
fine.
why I'm saying, like, if that's all this was, I mean, and there could be a bunch of stuff I'm missing here, but
Well, you're also missing the part where Mordecai is not in the military, and Haman is not his commander-in-chief. So,
that's true. Yeah, that's a little different.
yeah.
I still respect the position, but
Yeah.
I get it. It's a tough one.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I there's no blame on Mordecai.
He was sad about it, regardless.
Yeah. Sad about the Jews dying, going the decree.
Yeah, including himself.
Yeah.
He's sad about murder coming up.
Yeah.
But here's a weird thing. So it says, when Esther's maids and eunuchs came and told her about Mordecai, she was in great distress and tried to send him clothes, but he wouldn't wear them, right? Okay, whatever.
This is like
He wanted to keep the sackcloths. Whatever.
Yeah.
But then it says, then Esther ordered Hattach, one of the king's eunuchs assigned to attend her, to find out what was troubling Mordecai and why. Does she not know?
I guess not.
Like, she's the queen. She doesn't know the decree that just went out to all 127 provinces?
She's with the women. They're like holed
She's
up
the
somewhere, I
queen.
guess.
After
It's just
5
a
years.
different-
She's been queen for 5 years now.
Yeah, but this king and queen isn't the same as
I get.
other kings and queens, obviously.
Yeah, so she hears Mordecai is all torn
Because
up.
she can't even go to the king. I think that's in this chapter.
She can't, but
She'll be put to death.
but she
if-
doesn't know. She doesn't even know why Mordecai is sad. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Hattach went out to Mordecai in the open square in front of the king's gate. Again, king's gate. Mordecai apparently had a freaking cot there or something.
Or he's part of the palace working there.
He's not.
Or a king's
He's
servant.
not on the payroll. No, he's
How is that not? I don't
he just
understand.
like chilling by the gate, checking up on Esther. And where at all in the story does it say
Where-
Mordecai was employed by the king?
Where at all does it say the second round of young women came in were the daughters of the two guards?
You can read between the lines there.
You
There's
can-
no other.
there's-
There's
you know
no
what?
other
Hey.
reason why the two guards guarding the gate would.
There's a lot more lines in between those parts than the lines where the servants bow down and or where whatever it was, where he could have been a servant. There's like one or two sentences in between, but then the women and the guards is like 4 sentences or more.
I don't think he was employed by the king, but whatever, you know. So the eunuch went out to Mordecai, and then Mordecai told him everything that.
But how else is he getting word to Esther?
What?
He's able to get word to Esther and talk to Esther about some of these things.
The eunuchs are going out to him.
Before this part, he talks to her, yeah?
No.
When the plot to kill him, he tells Queen Esther the plot of the guards.
And
Mordecai,
we haven't even gotten there yet. It's
we
like
we
next-
passed, that's chapter 2.
What?
The plot for the guards to kill Xerxes. Mordecai tells Esther.
Oh, yeah.
How is he able to do that?
He probably told one of the
Just a
eunuchs-
rando off the street that
He
doesn't
hung
work
out
there?
at the gate. He could have told somebody at the gate, "Hey, can you give a message to Esther for me?"
It says he told Esther, but
Huh?
it says he told Esther.
Well, he could have said, "Hey, can you have Esther come see me?"
Just a rando off the street.
Could have. I don't know. He hung out
That's
at the
fine.
gate a lot.
That's fine.
Look, I don't know. Maybe he passed a note. Maybe he shot it up through her window.
Maybe he worked there or something. I don't know.
I don't think he worked there.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm saying I don't know, but that would be very plausible also, though.
It would make things easier to comprehend, but just because it's easy doesn't mean it's right.
All right. That's all right.
All right.
I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm fine.
Hey, it is plausible, okay? I'll give you
Yeah.
that. It doesn't say anything about it in here, though, so I'm just saying.
But the guards and the daughters.
The guy... Bro, there's no other reason why the guards would just automatically get so angry.
There's so many reasons people want to kill the king all
Not
the time.
the guards that work for him.
Yeah. Sometimes they just want to. They're
Unless
like,
they
"You know
found
what?"
out like there weren't any pay raises or something this year.
Yeah, they're just like, you know what? I want to be king.
But coincidentally, at the time, the king is bringing in more virgins. Like, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I just don't get your argument here either. Because I could say
I don't even know there's
coincidentally,
no argument.
the servant and Mordecai thing. Coincidentally, when the servants are commanded and he doesn't, and the servants talk to him within 3 sentences, that's just where I'm at right now.
Don't get hung up on the minor details, okay?
Oh, goodness.
Oh, man. Mordecai tells this eunuch everything that happened to him, including the exact amount of money Haman was going to pay to the king's treasury for the destruction of the Jews. He also gave him a copy of the text of the edict for their annihilation, which had been published in Susa, to show Esther and explain it to her. And he told him to urge her to go into the king's presence and beg for mercy and plead with him for her people. So see, he didn't talk to Esther directly, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because if he was part of it, he'd probably just go tell Esther himself.
Well,
he was in sackcloth. He couldn't pass the king's gate.
Correct. Because he already did talk to Esther.
He should have put
himself
on the clothes she tried to give him.
Yeah.
And then just gone in and talked to her then, if that's the case.
But he wanted to fast and pray and sackcloth it up, I guess.
He wanted to sack it up.
Yeah.
It was just kind of astonishing to me that after 5 years of being a queen, Esther was still surprised by this. You probably developed some level of...
It's just a different...
5 years, though, bro.
It's just a different queenship. I don't know.
You're married for 5 years and your wife doesn't even know what you're doing?
But it's not... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just different. It's not the same. They're like, they get married and then he's like, all right, off you go. We're not living in the same house. Get out of here. Go to your room.
Go to your room.
Yeah.
You're grounded.
Mordecai tells her, go to the king. And then she's like, I can't go because I'll be put to death.
Yeah, it says...
Or it could be.
It says the Hatak, whatever. He went and told Esther everything Mordecai told him. And she instructed him to tell Mordecai that everyone knows that for any man or woman who approached the king in the inner court without being summoned, the king has but one law, that they be put to death. The only exception to this is for the king to extend the gold scepter to him and spare his life. But 30 days have passed since I was called to go to the king. So she hadn't even seen the king in 30 days.
So I'm assuming she's holed up with the concubines, and so she doesn't know what's going on.
Oh, so she's in the room with Vashti? That's awkward.
Maybe. If Vashti's also there, yeah.
I don't think the queen would have been with the concubines, though. I think the queen would have probably had her own quarters somewhere.
Or young women, wherever she is. Wasn't she sent to the concubines?
No, it just
after
said,
the first night?
Just said in general, women after the first night would go to the king in the evening, in the morning they'd go to be with the concubines. It didn't say Esther herself. It just said in general that's how the situation played out. It says Esther went into the king and he liked her so much he put a crown on her head and made her queen. Esther didn't go in with the concubines. She was made queen right away. If the king loved Esther so much, wouldn't you want to see her more than 30 days ago?
Yeah.
And I thought the queens and kings they had thrones right next to each other and they chilled.
Different.
I'm picturing Vikings. You ever watch the show Vikings?
I haven't watched it, but I mean...
But you have the king and queen right there, and
yeah.
If the queen says something, the king's yep.
Yeah. It's like a 51-49%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She said 30 days had passed and she was called to go to the king. When Esther's words were reported to Mordecai, he responded back, basically kind of just reminding her, do not think that because you are in the king's house that you alone of all the Jews will escape. Mm-hmm. If you remain silent, deliverance will come from somewhere else. But you and your father's family will perish. And who knows but that you have come to a royal position for such a time as this. So Mordecai knew, if you don't do anything, you're going to get killed anyway.
Yeah. Pretty wise little motivator there.
Yeah.
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 I liked it.
Esther instructed Mordecai to gather all the Jews in Susa and fast for 3 days, no food or drink, day or night. And she and her maids are going to do the same. And after that, she'll go into the king, even though it's against the law. And if she perishes, she perishes.
That's what she says, yeah.
That's what she says.
If I die, I die.
So Mordecai...
I'll give it a shot.
So Mordecai did what she told him. What would you have done in that situation? Would you have the guts to go in and go try and talk to the king knowing that the law was death? You had no choice, huh? You wouldn't.
Yeah. Maybe at first I I would be in Esther's shoes, and then Mordecai was like, hey, there's bigger things going on. It'll catch up to you in a way, somehow, somewhere. Okay, yeah. You know what? I gotta do this.
Bro, you gotta have butterflies in your stomach though before you're going in there.
I do right now, just thinking about it. Yeah.
Again, this king-queen dynamic is throwing me off because as the queen, you would think she wouldn't be as afraid to approach her husband, who she's been with for 5 years. It's
You just gotta get
so
past
hard
it,
to
'cause
conceive.
It's just different.
She wouldn't have developed some level of authority by then?
Maybe some level, but still not enough.
Favor
She does have some favorite thing, but still not enough.
What if anybody, like in Mordecai's, like any of the Jews decided to have a snack or something during those 3 days? Like she told everybody to fast, don't eat or drink.
Yeah.
But what if one of them snuck a candy bar or something? Do you think the outcome would have changed?
Maybe for that
Then
one
what's
person.
the point of fasting?
Yeah. You know, I don't know. Dude, I get hung up on fasting because nowhere in the Bible is fasting ever about social media. And
Social media?
people fast social media. People fast.
Doing fasting. It's supposed to be like fasting,
Like nowadays
something
fasting?
that you're addicted to or that you love or
Get outta
something that means something to you.
Yeah. Like, oh, I can't eat sugar, but I'm gonna go. This thing is still sweet, but there's no sugar in it. Ha ha. Bro. I don't know if I'm
You
gonna
find
go
a
there,
loophole.
but yeah, nowhere in the Bible is fasting is always about food, like period. Where were we? I don't know. I'm just like
Because you need food to live. Where we were is Esther told Mordecai to gather all the Jews and fast for 3 days, day and night. And I asked, like, what if one of them had a snack? Would it have changed the outcome?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
You think
so.
that one person that ate probably would have died?
Maybe.
Something would have happened to them.
I think so. Yeah. But the overall story, I don't think would have changed.
Then why do it?
Because if everyone doesn't do it, then the whole story doesn't happen. But if one person, then yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of times in the Bible where one person did something
Jacked off.
against the rules and everybody got destroyed for it.
Yeah. It's possible.
I don't know. Well, thankfully, no one got hungry. No one had a snack.
What was it, 3 days?
3 days.
Yeah. That's not too bad.
Day and night, no food or drink?
Yeah. Well, does it say day and night? A lot of times fasting is, it does say 3 day, night or day. Yeah.
Night or day.
Because a lot of times fasting was just the day.
And this says do not eat or drink anything. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm fasting. I'm only drinking water.
Yeah.
Or only clear fluids. So I can have white cherry Gatorade.
Oh, God.
Or, wait, is Red Bull a clear fluid?
No, it's not clear. No.
No? Good.
Good. I really do I got hung up on fasting. It's also, you're not supposed to make it a thing, like outwardly thing.
Yeah, you're not supposed to look miserable or tell people that you're fasting.
And we literally tell everyone.
Everyone's like, oh, fasting, coffee.
Oh, steak. I can't wait to have steak. Oh.
I'm fasting coffee. I'm so tired. I know.
I can get worked up on that. I don't know why.
You don't have to get worked up. I don't understand it to the point.
Like biblically, fasting is food. And it's typically just the day. You can still eat at night. Just fasting. But there's special occasions here where it's like, also do the night.
I really don't know enough details about fasting and how it works and why to do it.
Yeah.
So I really don't. But
yeah, I think they teach, it's supposed to you keep your flesh in line. Like, hey, you're not in control, you stupid meat sack.
I know, but a lot of times people fast like 4 things. Like, oh,
to lose weight.
I'm having aside from that, that's just a side bonus.
That's one of the reasons I get.
But let's say somebody's, God forbid, somebody's kid ends up getting hit by a car. They're in the hospital. They're like, I'm gonna fast and pray for.
Yeah.
Does fasting?
It's usually
really
joined with
that?
praying.
Yeah, like, does fasting really have an impact on that, or just? I mean,
I guess
I guess it allows you to focus more because when you're fasting,
it's like a devotion. Like you're devoted to this.
If you're fasting, let's say lunch, then during lunch when you would normally be eating, you would be praying. Or at least your hunger would remind you to focus on God and your situation. So it would kind of take the focus off of you and put it on God. So I think my understanding of it is that, but I'm sure there's a much deeper...
Anytime I think about fasting, that small thought of like, oh, and I'll lose a couple pounds too. I'm like, never mind, I'm not fasting. That was so selfish. I just throw it all out. I'm like, screw it.
So
I'm
selfish.
I'm not fasting. Like, I can't believe
No, man, you got to
thought
lean
that.
into it. Then you're like, oh man, I'm fasting lunch, but if I fasted breakfast too, I could probably drop another pound a week.
But then that's where I'm like, no, I don't want it to be about me. I'm just not going to do it at all.
Well, then it
Just
becomes
throw
about
it
you
out.
that way.
I know.
So either way, it becomes about you. So you might as well lose some pounds over it.
I'm so screwed in everything. I'm just so in my own head about everything. It sucks. Same thing with like prayer. It's like, oh, I want to get closer to God. Oh yeah, it'll be better for me. Well, I don't want it to be about me, but do you ever think that way? Like, that was like broad terms, but like, I get hung up on stuff. I'm like, man, that's so selfish. Like, oh yeah, if I give money, I'll get money. Well, crap. I shouldn't want money.
Well, that's what the Bible says in a way.
No, I know.
But your
But it's not
motivation,
supposed-
your heart should not be, I'm going to give because I'm going to get. It's,
Yes.
I'm going to give because it honors God, and I know in return, out of His goodness and grace and mercy, He will bless.
But I'd rather there not even be that. Like, just don't even tell me that, so I don't even think about it. So then I'll do it. But then once that idea pops in my head that like, oh, it'll benefit me, like, oh, now I'm making it about me. I'm like, dang.
Give and it'll be given to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I get it, man.
Yeah.
You can twist yourself up with stuff like that.
Yeah, I do it every day.
Every day.
Oh, man.
Mordecai and all the Jews in Susa are fasting. Esther is fasting with her maids. And then after 3 days, she's going to go in to talk to the king and hope that she doesn't get killed in the process. Well, you'll have to tune in to see what happens to Esther, because right now she's not eating. Now she's going to be hungry and going in front of the king all nervous.
And she's a Jew.
And she's a Jew and no one knows it. And she hasn't seen her hubby in 30 days. Like, he hasn't called her. Like, do you think... Like, that's got to mess with her head a little bit, right?
For sure.
If your wife didn't call you for 30 days...
Maybe she likes it, though. Maybe she's like, I didn't really want to be married to this guy, but...
Was Xerxes, like, a good-looking dude? Or was he, like, some big...
He was pretty good in 300.
Like, Jabba the Hutt looking... Just sloppy...
Yeah, I don't know.
Or was he, like, in 300, just...
Yeah, I have the image of 300 because, yeah.
Skinny,
Bald.
Ethiopian...
He was pretty... He was skinny, but he was cut.
He looked like the Indian guy from Street Fighter.
But he was, like, cut.
Yeah,
He had muscle.
Cut, he was skinny.
Yeah, but he had muscle. He had a little beef to his skinniness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't look like any of the Spartans, though. Spartans were
No,
jacked.
yeah.
So yeah, I wonder, like, if he was attractive or if, like, he was repulsive to the women. I don't know.
Yeah. Also, next week, maybe we'll know what Josh said. I sent him a message. I said...
Oh, you texted him?
Yeah, I said, yo, Christian wants to play Ultimate Frisbee again with your buddies. We should make that happen. Something like that. Put all the blame on you.
That's cool. I'm good with it. I should text him and say, yo,
Johnny.
Johnny wants to play Ultimate with you and your buddies.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, you're going to have to tune in to part 2 to see what happens to Esther and all of the Jews. Because right now, December 13th.
It's not looking good. Yeah, it's definitely like March to April.
Yeah, it's not December 13th. But
It's like March and April is the first month, and then the last month is like February, March.
for the sake of simplicity, it's December 13th. But
Part 1 podcast over.
podcast over. That's what she said.